What's up, y'all? We got a video from Jimmy High Roller. The NBA is rigged. NBA Finals been going on, y'all. Tied at, or no, I'm sorry. It is now 2-1 Nuggets. And yeah, but I want to hear what he's got to say in this one. The NBA is rigged. Let's get it. Oh, we got the music. Here we go. Bruh. Heat in 6. Oh my gosh. Three play-in teams.
The good old hot take. The necessary evil.
I've seen the memes about Kyle Lowry.
The bad ones.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Downright atrocious ones. We once again find ourselves racking our brains, trying to figure out how some people come up with this nonsense. But today, I've done the brain racking for you and found some of the hottest NBA takes on the internet. NBA Finals Edition. So buckle up. This may be a bumpy ride.
Here we go. Finals edition, y'all.
Today's video is sponsored by Liquid IV.
Sing it with me,
this
y'all.
summer, stay focused and fueled with Liquid IV.
Thank
with 2 times
Thank you
faster
so
hydration.
much for wasting my time. Here we go. Thank you.
With the NBA Finals upon us, I thought to myself, what better time to take a look at some hot takes? Per usual, I immediately regretted this decision, but it had to be done. So let's jump right in. Now, our first take has been around for decades, and regardless of how insane it is,
How about
fans
Christian
continue
Brown
to
last
say
night,
that
though?
the NBA is rigged and scripted. And to that I say,
Came out hooping.
what?
Yeah, that's
First of all,
crazy.
reality is stranger than fiction.
I've heard
The
that
best way
before,
to
but
create
that's wild.
incredible, captivating moments in sports would be to not script them. You think some
come on
dude
now.
rigged Kevin Durant eviscerating his calf in front of tens of millions of people? Or what about the Nuggets just sweeping the Lakers? Wouldn't it make infinitely more sense to allow most series to go into 6 or 7 games for more revenue? We had a very real chance at a Celtics-Lakers finals this season. In what universe do the script writers not choose that outcome? I wonder what Chris Paul thought when he got the script and saw that Luka Doncic was going to walk him like a dog on his way to his 87th second-round exit. If the NBA was truly rigged, why on earth would the most lucrative franchise in the league have virtually no success over the last 20 years? Oh, your team is one of the 29 teams that didn't win a championship this season? It couldn't be that they just weren't good enough. It's because the basketball overlords didn't have it in the script. The biggest suspicion comes from the way refs officiate the games, handing out more fouls to one team than another, making odd calls during crucial points in the game, and believe me, brothers, I'm right there with you. If I had a dollar for every suspect call I saw in an NBA game, I'd have enough money to start my own franchise to complain about. But that's just the nature of sports. Sometimes things go your way.
Yeah, there's
Sometimes
no
they don't.
way the
As
NBA
much
is
as we would like
scripted.
for
Like,
refs
I've
to be
heard that
mindless
argument
robots who
before.
get every
Bro,
call correct. They're
it's
human,
ridiculous.
just like
I've
us,
heard-
and they make mistakes.
heard that
this
statement.
guy says the NBA is
Come on
colluding
now.
to get the Lakers into the playoffs. Well, then I guess the NBA also colluded to get them swept in the conference finals. I know it's tough to watch your team lose, but of all the excuses we can make as fans, can we please stop resorting to this one? This is a bad take.
Yeah, this is
This
ridiculous.
next take comes from my man Bill Simmons, who had this to say about this year's Nuggets team.
This Nuggets team is the best team I've seen in person in 5 years, since the 2018 Warriors. Not just better, but really probably beats anybody the last 4 years.
Now, when I first heard this, I thought that can't be true, but it actually might be. Of course,
hey, man.
there's no way to know for sure,
They've
but
been
going
hooping.
back through the last 8 teams to make the NBA
I
Finals,
mean, and that
the
duo of
2023
Jamal Murray
Nuggets
and Joker
do
is
look like
something- is
possibly the
something
best
else,
team.
y'all.
Now, this is all just an opinion, but I think this year's Nuggets team would have beaten
I
the
knew they would be
2022
good just
Celtics
because they
and
have all the
Warriors.
young
They would
players
have
and they
beaten
got
the
the talent. I
2021
didn't know
Suns
they
and
would
the
be this
2020
good.
Heat. And they
I
would
did
have
not know
probably
they would
taken
be
down
this
the
good.
2019 Raptors.
But, hey,
the 2 teams that I think are debatable are
they've
the
been on a
2020
tear.
Lakers and the 2021 Bucks. But if we look at
As we
some
know.
postseason metrics from these teams, teams, the Nuggets are on pace to being the best team since the 2019 Warriors. In the moment, it may not feel like it, but this Nuggets team is incredible. They beat a loaded Suns team that had the most lethal two-man offensive game in the NBA. They swept a Lakers team that beat the defending champs, and they've done it all in historic fashion. The 2023 Nuggets may just be the best team since the 2019 Warriors. The eye test backs this up, and the stats do as well. Now, this next take comes from a fan who says that if the Heat become the first team to win a championship as an 8 seed, it automatically becomes the greatest playoff run in NBA history. Well, let's look at some of the greatest, or rather improbable, playoff runs throughout the league's history. The 2011 Mavericks are considered by many to have the greatest playoff run of any team. As a 3 seed, the Mavs beat a 48-win Blazers team. They beat the reigning champions in the Lakers and Kobe Bryant. They beat a young 55-win Thunder team, but most importantly, they beat the Miami Heat and their Big Three in 6 games. A series in which everyone and their mother thought Miami was going to win. But one of the most overlooked runs was back in 1995 when the Houston Rockets won an NBA championship as a 6 seed, currently the lowest seed to ever win a title. If some of y'all aren't familiar with this playoff run, it's almost hard to believe
he said as
what
a
this
6
team
seed?
pulled off. Because on their way to a championship that postseason, Houston beat a 60-win Jazz team with Malone and Stockton, a 59-win Suns team with 2 All-Stars in Charles Barkley and Dan Marley, a 62-win Spurs team featuring the league MVP in David Robinson, and a 57-win Magic team with Shaq and Penny. A few years ago, I made a video on the most difficult championships ever won, and the Rockets title in 1995
they didn't have one
was
single
ranked
easy
#1.
series in that one.
If we add up the total amount of regular season wins from all the teams the Rockets beat that postseason, we get a whopping 238 wins. Compare that with the 2011 Mavericks and this year's Heat, as well as some other metrics, and it's clear that the Rockets had a much more difficult path to a championship. But the 95 Rockets did have a solid squad surrounding Hakeem, with players like Clyde Drexler, Vernon Maxwell, Kenny Smith, Sam Cassell. This was a good team. The 2023 Heat, however,
NBA teams still take
have
team
absolutely
pictures?
no business even being in the finals. It's
I
literally
don't see
Jimmy,
very many
Bam,
team
and the
pictures
undraftables.
anymore.
Even the Mavericks in
for NBA
2011 are a criminally underrated team. They were the 3 seed going into the playoffs with 57 wins. They had an awesome core of players, and they were easily one of the best teams in the league that season. They just had to make it past the heavy favorite to win it all. This year's Heat team was never favored in the postseason. From the very first series, they were expected to get sent home, and 2 of their core players have virtually sat the entire playoffs. So between the 1995 Rockets and the 2023 Heat, it's close. The Rockets had a more difficult path, but the Heat were expected to have absolutely no chance at all. You could make a great argument that if the Heat win a championship this year, it would be the greatest playoff run in NBA history. And so
it would be
this
something special
is a
for
good
sure
take.
as an 8 seed.
And our last take comes from the legend himself, Mike Breen. During Game 1 of the NBA Finals, Breen had a take about Nikola Jokic that some people didn't really appreciate. And one of those people was in the booth with it.
You marvel at his complete game. He passes like magic. He rebounds like Moses. Shoots like Dirk.
Rebounds like Moses? Are you?
Moses Malone.
I know. You want to check yourself?
Now, Mike Breen has watched a lot of basketball. He knows the game, and as much as this take
Rebounds
seems like
like
a reach,
Moses.
is it really? Breen says that Jokic shoots like Dirk, which is about the highest praise a big man can get, and the numbers support this. Well, kinda. On short jumpers, Jokic is historically efficient. Both Dirk and Jokic are equally as deadly with their long jumpers, and Dirk is a noticeably better three-point shooter. But there's context missing here, because Nikola Jokic only shoots 39% of his shots from outside 10 feet, whereas Dirk shot a whopping 77% of his shots from outside 10 feet.
Yo, that's crazy.
As efficient as the Joker is, Dirk is the
I know
gold
both of them
standard for a shooting
can
big.
shoot it, but like...
He also said Jokic passes the ball like magic. And sure, Jokic isn't the engine to the most exciting show in all of basketball,
Passes it like
but in terms of
magic.
moving the rock and getting open looks for his teammates, Jokic
The one-hand
does
passes
pass
be
like
crazy.
magic.
Have
In
you all
my
seen
opinion,
some of those?
Magic Johnson is still the greatest passer the game has ever seen. Jokic isn't quite that. But if you were to give your top 5 passers in NBA history, who would be on your list? Magic, Steve Nash, LeBron James, Chris Paul, Jason Kidd. Maybe you got John Stockton, Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas. But Nikola Jokic is undoubtedly in this discussion.
He's
And the
not
last
far off,
comparison
man.
that
He
Brady
really
gave
is
was
not
that
far off the
Jokic
top.
rebounds like Moses Malone.
5
And this
top
is where
10?
Mark Jackson
He's not
really
far
lost
off.
it, as if the statement
You could
was
argue
a
him
massive
being in the top
reach.
10.
Because it kind of is. Moses Malone was a 6-time rebounding champion, arguably the greatest rebounder of all time. Moses had an 8-year stretch where he averaged 15 rebounds.
What? What? He had a stretch where he averaged 14.8 rebounds a game? What? Y'all, that is insane. He averaged that? He averaged that for 7 years. He averaged 14.8 rebounds. That is insane. And 25 points. That's insane. That's insane. And people don't talk about Moses Malone, really.
Again,
People don't talk about
Jokic
this man.
can rebound with the best in the league, but he's not quite the board-grabbing machine that Moses was. So, in Breen's defense,
Wow.
Jokic can almost pass like Magic. He's nearly the shooter Dirk was, and he's not quite the rebounder Moses Malone was. So, although it's a bit of a stretch, I do like this take. But unfortunately, that's all the racking my brain can handle in one sitting. But y'all know the drill. Leave a comment with your hot take, and as
A lot of
usual,
research and
the
stats
hotter,
going into
the
it,
better.
huh?
Or worse. Hope you all enjoy it. And as always,
It's interesting.
until next time.
Interesting. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys thought about this video. Interesting takes as always. Not gonna agree on all the takes, but hey, it's interesting hearing them. Let me know what you guys thought about this video. I'll catch you all in the next one.